This is not for you to drink, this is for the stew, beef stew.
When you feel sad, when you listen Irish music, you will get better.
Typical Irish bar is a meeting place for people, young and old, all go into Irish bars to communicate. Particularly in the west of Ireland, it comes from the olden times when there was no electricity in the houses. Okay. People went usually to meet in the local pub.
I see.
And they talked and they played music. And it was a meeting point and communication, and that to this day is the Irish bar.
What do you think Irish pub different with Taiwan local pub?
In Taiwan, the drinking culture only developed a few years back.
Yes.
There was not really a Taiwanese bar system in Taiwan. People used to go out for dinners, all right.
Yes.
They had restaurants and they bring a bottle of whiskey with them and they drink whiskey at the meals. But they don't go into bars, or they used to go into bars just for drink. And so the Irish bar brings a bit of different culture into this country. It's not just a restaurant. In Ireland, you have a couple classical drinks. The most important drink is the Guinness. Guinness was born in Ireland, in Dublin, and since 1600 and something. So Guinness is really the centerpiece of Irish drink. We have in our bar the biggest selection of Irish whiskies. Taiwan, up to lately, only imported whiskies from Scotland.
Yes.
And some bigger brands from America, the bourbons.
Yes.
But there was no Irish whiskies found.
What's the difference Irish whiskey and Scotch whiskey?
Ireland were the first. The monks of Ireland were the first people who distilled whiskey in the world. So the whiskey distillery started in Ireland. From Ireland, the system of distilling whiskies went to Scotland. From Scotland, it went to America, and bourbon was born. The Irish whiskey is very dependent on water. And Ireland has the Atlantic, and on the other side of the Atlantic, thousands and thousands of kilometers away, is America. So you have a fairly clean environment. The weather coming from the Atlantic into Ireland as rain gives you a very good water. And this water is being used for the whiskies. So the whiskies in Ireland have a very smooth character.
I see.
The Scottish whiskey is inclined to be more alcohol dependent. So the smoothness of Irish whiskey is very famous.
So what's the best way to drink Irish whiskey?
The old saying goes, if I drink whiskey, I drink whiskey. If I drink water, I drink water. So the best way drinking Irish whiskey is the nature has distilled the whiskey and put it into a cask, and how many years, whatever years it lying there in the cask, so you take it out of the cask and you drink it.
So in those new days, a lot of whiskey with Coke, whiskey with tea, whiskey with bubble tea, so many trendy way.
You can do what you like. I personally prefer, if I drink a good whiskey, I don't want to mix it with anything, because you get the taste of the whiskey in its nature.
I see.
If you want to mix whiskey with coffee or with Coke or whatever, you use very cheap whiskey. You don't have to use the expensive whiskeys, because you ruin the taste of the whiskey. So it's no point in buying an expensive whiskey, maybe 15 or 20 years matured, and then fill it with Coke or fill it with water.
Yes, okay, I got you. Have you heard the whiskey called Kavalan, which is made in Taiwan?
Yes, indeed. I actually have been at the Kavalan distillery.
Okay.
And I have tried many different Kavalan whiskies.
I see.
To tell you a secret,
Yes.
the entire
Don't tell me because it's a secret.
the entire Kavalan distillery
Yes.
is actually run through computer from Scotland.
Okay.
Scotland whiskey distiller is in charge of Kavalan whiskey.
I see.
So I would question the Kavalan Taiwanese, because it's more Scottish than probably Taiwanese. The expertise comes from Scotland. Having said so, obviously the Taiwanese water and something similar what's for Ireland with the Atlantic. In Taiwan you have the Pacific, and again you have many kilometers down the sea of the Pacific you have America. So you have a fairly clean water coming from across the raining over the mountains in Taiwan, so the water is equally as good. So yes, I can't see any reason why Taiwan can't produce good whiskies.
What do you think the taste of Taiwanese whiskey?
As I mentioned before, that it's controlled by Scotland, so it tastes like Scottish whiskey.
I see.
And so it's closer to the Scottish whiskies than to the Irish whiskey. And Irish whiskey has quite a unique type of taste.
So what's the typical Irish dish?
The most famous dish, I would say, is probably Irish stew.
So now I'm gonna cook Irish typical classic beef stew. We have some ingredients. The beef is from Taiwan. So this spring onion we call Zhongzheng. This carrots, potato, onion, garlic. Now I'm going to cut the vegetable into the cube size. We're gonna cook. Add the oil first. Get the oil a bit hot. Put the beef. You always marinate the beef before you put in the pot. Let it cook like 1 minute each side. You pan fry the beef for a couple of minutes. And then you put onion first, some garlic. Let's wait next 3 to 5 minutes. Onion caramelize. Now next we put carrots and potato in, yes? Also we're going to put some tomato paste. So now put some leeks in. Now the interesting part is come up. So that was surprising. Benny, are you ready? Yeah. I'm going to put my first draft Guinness beer in my life. Let's go. Right, now
Brilliant.
we put here
You're getting employment.
for the rest. Right, now I'll finish off the beers, I mean Guinness. Right, straight up. Wow.
There to serve.
This is not for you to drink, this is for the stew, beef stew. Now I'm going to put all the Guinness into the stew. If you don't have the draft Guinness in the bar, and you can buy the can one from the store. One can should be enough for 3 to 4 persons. So just keep the slow stew for next 30 minutes. Roughly 40, mix softener. If you have oven, you can take oven, place in next 35 minutes with 200 degrees. When you see it very dried out, it's actually a bit more because the beef needs a little bit longer, especially the potato and the carrots. Almost ready. All you're going to say when it's ready. When you see the liquorice getting sticky, so it means done. Bernie, so I done some beef stew.
Thank you very much. It looks great.
Wow. Sorry. All the beef.
Good.
So what's the easy to bring the Irish culture to Taiwan?
You try to find common denominators, the culture via the culture and via music.
When you feel sad, feel down, when you listen Irish music, you will get better. So always this music make you active. James Joyce is very kindful for us to play the music here. Chinese music instruments have some similar like Irish music instrument. For example, Chinese bamboo is similar with tin whistle play. So this time I try to ask Chinese music player to play the Irish music and use Irish style to play in their instruments, and maybe have a different sound, but I think they can match each other.
Coming into our Irish bar, you don't need to travel to Ireland. You have a little bit of Ireland in our Irish bar.